chicken.
Here.
Watkins,
Right.
Miller,
Here.
Jester,
Here.
Crawford,
Here.
Irvin,
Yes.
All right, next in everyone's packets is the meeting minutes from last meeting. Take a second and look over those. Are there any questions about the meeting minutes?
There's just
There-
one
Okay,
correction. It was Larry Watkins and,
where are
Terry,
you, where are you at?
where we made the permanent president of council.
Okay.
Second page, halfway down. It says Jana Crawford and it was Larry Watkins and Terry Irvin. I already talked to her about it.
I was all trying to remember, we didn't do so good.
Mr. Lanier?
I'm gonna
It's in
write
old
that
bit,
down.
it's in old business.
It's in old business.
Yes,
Second paragraph,
yes.
first name.
Do we need to approve the work session minutes separately?
Well, I skipped, so I'll go back and get the work session afterwards. And this is for the regular meeting for January 19th.
What is the correction?
Second page, in old business, second paragraph, strike Jana Crawford and put Larry Watkins in that place.
And then also, for Miller, Lynn Miller, it
Yes.
was Terry Irvin.
Okay, seconded by Terry Irving. Okay. All right, is there any other corrections to the meeting minutes for the regular meeting? If there are no further corrections, I will entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the regular meeting on January 19th, 2016. Lynn Miller with the corrections, seconded by Ms. Crawford. All those in favor of approving the regular meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, please. All right, next we're going to the work session meeting minutes for January 19th, 2016. Any corrections, questions, or concerns? If there are no questions at this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the work session meeting minutes for January 19th. Mr. Watkins makes a motion, seconded by Mr. Jester. All those in favor of approving the work session meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, please. All right. Next, we're gonna move on to the bills. Remember, we're doing these a little differently. So just for everyone's information, and so it's, in the minutes, we have paid $19,629.12. Those have already been pre-approved by council. Those are your, wages, insurance, things like that. They could not wait. So that is just for council's information. Next, the payment listing, these are bills that need to be paid, is a total of $11,345.40. That payment listing is in your packet. Are there any questions about this payment listing?
I have a question reference 132-16B, the lawn and needs, what is that?
That's a uniform place up in Sydney, the employees go pick up uniforms and work jackets, coats, boots, those sort of things.
I've never seen that, that's something new.
No, we've been there, going there several years.
Okay,
It's just not a usual expense.
okay.
Is there any other questions regarding the payment listing?
This is on the appropriation
That's the-
supplement, is
that's
that
the next
something different? Okay.
Yeah, no question.
Yep.
Okay, vote.
Mr. Watkins makes a motion to pay the bills, seconded by Mr. Jester. Roll call, please.
Watkins,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Jester,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
Irvin,
Yes.
and Atkins.
Yes.
All right, next we have, this was, same as last meeting. but we have a resolution for supplemental appropriations. Oh, never mind. It's the appropriation supplemental. It's this one right here. Same as last time, just changing account numbers. Just cleaning up, reorganizing.
You're changing account numbers or moving money? That looks like to me it's moving money.
We are moving money into different account numbers. That's all it is. If you look, you will see, for example, $5,000 is removed from 5101-535-420-0000. And then $5,000 is added to 5101-535-432-0000.
Now, all these in the past, when you're moving money, you always had to be done in a resolution. This is not a resolution.
It doesn't need to be in a resolution, it's moving within the fund. The only time a resolution has to be done if it's moving from a fund to another fund. This is within the fund,
So we've been put in the wrong code,
yes,
and we're being
Yes.
put in the right code.
yes.
This is being approved by the auditor.
And, yes, auditor and the, government services through the auditor's office. Local government service, LGS, it's called.
Is there any questions about the appropriation supplemental?
The only question I had is it said, for example, it says, it looks like something's truncated, the commentary. Purchase for a truck, water, sewer in December 2015 should have. Look,
No, second to last line.
Yeah, the paper just doesn't come out long enough, we can correct that in the future.
or, yeah, if it just wraps, or if it would wrap around inside.
Yes.
Okay, I just didn't know what it said.
Alright. Any questions about the supplementation, or appropriation supplemental? Then I will entertain a motion to approve appropriation supplemental. Mr. Watkins makes a motion,
I'll second.
seconded by Mr. Irving. All those in favor of approving supplemental, appropriation supplementals, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, please.
Aye.
Okay. Alright, next we're going to move on to mayor's notes. Only thing I have, I've got two things this evening. First thing, there was a couple situations with the police officers this weekend, regarding, they had done some, had seen some things and acted appropriately and very well and very professionally. So I wanted to pass along that word. Chief isn't in here right now, but I went back and told one of the safety committee members, good job. I mean, if you're acting professionally and you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, then, hey, everybody deserves an attaboy if that's the situation. The second thing I have, I got a newsletter from our town, St. Paris. I'm just going to hit some of the highlights. I will make sure this is left out. We'll put it on the board out here. Farmers Market's going to begin May 6th and run until October 14th, on Friday from 2:30 to 6 p.m. Flower barrels will be planted in May. Garage sale day will be June 18th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Our town St. Paris annual meeting will be held June 27th. Location to be announced. Christmas in the Village will be December 3rd, 2016, up here at the municipal building. So that is all I have for mayor's notes. We'll make sure this gets posted out, and I can already see him wanting a copy of it. And it's also on our website. Next, we'll move on to committee reports. Safety Committee, Mr. Atkins, Mr. Watkins.
Nobody really showed up to the meeting, but when I was back there, they have a mayor's court bond list that is, you know what that is? It's dated 2004, and they needed a updated one. That just kinda tells them how much their tickets are, I believe.
I think they mirror the municipal court bond schedule.
Yeah,
That
Okay.
would be something that
So we need to pull a copy from
The
the
judge,
municipal court
right.
and just
It's
adjust.
It's been updated in the computers, it's just not updated on
Excuse
the
me. That's the list there,
On the
along with the municipal.
paper back there.
Okay, we actually have both of them right now.
Oh, okay, well, there we go.
So we should probably go through this and mirror these and move ours up to theirs.
Yeah.
We'll have to do that, we probably can't do that tonight.
It will have to be discussed with the clerk and the magistrate.
Okay,
Yeah, there's work that's Monday already.
Yeah, it's already updated in their computer system there, it's just they don't have an updated list back there, which is that.
Okay.
Those are the reach, so we're charging.
Yeah.
okay. I will, we will reach out with, Ms. Gleason and make sure that our paperwork for the officers mirrors what's in the computer. And I will give you guys a report on that, in the next meeting.
Okay, hopefully we can get together at next month's meeting and go over this budget, because we need to cut some funds somewhere. You know, there's not enough there for part-time.
Okay,
But, you know, like I said, I couldn't get over to see how much expenses they've incurred over the years, so I don't know how much money they're appropriating for what.
okay. When you feel that we need, if we need to make changes to the budget, whatever you find, let us know, we can do a work session.
Yeah, okay. First of all, we're just gonna turn out some lights when we're not in the budget. But yeah, that's all I have at this moment.
Do you have anything, Mr. Walker?
No, I apologize, Mr. Atkins. I was aware that there would not be a meeting tonight, but I didn't have a number to contact him, so.
Has that been resolved?
Contact.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, next we'll move on to streets.
Okay.
Mr. Jester.
We got the new street truck in service. I think we had to put the vibrator on the bed, it's
Yep.
done.
And the hitch.
And the hitch. Pothole repair, trimming the trees at the well field and cleaning the fence row at the wastewater plant. And that's being conducted by the,
Mostly by community service workers. One gentleman is done now, he finished his last week. We still have another one.
and that's all I have to report.
Okay. Parks, building, streets.
I went up and we did get our new tables, and, so I set 5 of them up, put some chairs up. I'd like to see, let that come out, that those tables at least stay up. That way they're not tearing them down and putting them up, and that's what ruins the tables pretty much. I wanna say, Diane did a spectacular job on the park building, cleaning it up, scrub the carpet. Did a very nice job.
Good job.
What was wrong with the old table?
They were getting beat up because people were not putting, they don't pay attention how they come apart and how they go together. How the legs come out, they just jam them up and bust them up.
Where are they at now? The old
They're down here. I'm gonna repair some of them and put them back up. Or put them where we can use them, because they can still be used, sort of, but they're not a presentable table.
And like Lynn said, before, people are taking them down and up. We wanna just keep them up, and that way nobody has to mess with them a whole lot, and so they don't get broke more often. So we're gonna try to encourage them to keep them up.
Can that be something that's checked or watched, with, because that's what they have the deposit for, and if a table gets
Yeah,
broken or
well,
damaged?
yeah, but it's hard to pinpoint that, how long it's been halfway there, you know, I mean, we're not gonna go up and investigate every table every time, you know.
Yeah, but we have that form that they have to sign, and we can add that to that form to please leave tables
Oh,
and
yeah,
chairs
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
And I'm gonna
We can
try and
hold
get
that here.
a decent bulletin board up there to be able to mark something like that on.
What was the cost of these tables?
$50 a piece. Got 10.
Actually, they're 49.
49.
Okay. Anything else?
He suggested, well, we both discussed, putting a calendar up on the website, and saying when things are booked, availability for the park. I don't know if we can do that or not.
Oh, we have a calendar, we just have to add those days if that's.
Right.
Yeah,
But you
If
want a
somebody-
separate calendar from the,
just for the park building.
just for the park building?
Well,
Also, I don't
do you
know.
want just a park building, or, I'm not 100%
Just so
on
people-
how many
I would-
days it's booked out of the year.
That's what we wanna know.
Yeah.
We want it in the month, so we can look.
Well, I'm saying,
Anybody.
can we add it on to the already current events calendar that we have going on?
That
I'm
might
sure we
be-
could.
We
Well-
could maybe.
The current events calendar might be something within the village, might, it congest the calendar when you got a park and something else for the community in there.
That's true. I
Can
would
you
think so.
isolate?
Do you want,
Park schedule?
do you want the list of days that it's booked, or do you want the list of days that it's open?
I'd say availability.
Availability, yeah.
Would be what we need.
Because you don't really need a calendar to do that, we can just go into
Okay,
the park.
that's
park
fine.
And put, somehow we can put on there that these days are open without doing
Right.
365 of them.
Well, I know I get a phone call occasionally and don't know when, you know, somebody asks me, I tell them to come back down here. But,
Or maybe we'll just write on there the days that are already booked,
Yeah, that'd be less.
there'll be a lot
days.
less. And we
Right.
can
Right.
pull those
Right.
off, and that would make an assumption all the rest of them are open.
Yeah.
So that's easy
And
enough
just,
to do.
and maybe just put a plug in, on there that, you know, graduation parties are coming up. You wanna book your party,
do a little
Now's the time.
advertising, basically.
you know, what do you say?
Do a little advertising.
Yeah, a little advertising. So I know I was discussing it with my niece this year,
Yeah, we can,
so,
What's the status with the cannon?
We're waiting, check on wheels to be
no,
built.
we can't
Get a
find
price
wheels,
that's reasonable.
right.
That's the big trick. We've got a
Can't
couple
get an
people.
Amish guy up the road to build one?
I think we looked in, how far up the road?
By emulation, or there's a.
We did look at
did
that guy,
okay.
yeah. He
Because
was,
that needs to get addressed and backed up to the park. There's been several people who have contacted Diana wanting to know where that cannon's
yeah,
at.
I understand they've got checking with me too.
Okay,
But we aren't gonna just blow $3,000 or $4,000 for a couple.
I just
of
wanna make sure it's being addressed.
Oh, yeah.
Could I ask where the money came from for the,
Table.
Table, out of the park,
out of the park or that fuel, or the truck?
probably Eagle Side or truck.
And we gotta be careful on that, we're getting low. But that's all right, but I'm kinda concerned about we need to think about that cement around the side there. It's getting,
It's not just the walk. You got the pillars that are coming apart, you got cracks in the tennis
Oh.
court, you got cracks in the basketball
we haven't
court,
got
all of
enough
them are
money,
safety
we haven't
hazards.
got enough money in the trucks to fix it. No, as much money as cement is.
Okay. Anything else for parks?
I'm,
Ms. Crawford?
No,
Okay. Planning commission, Mr. Irvin.
The next meeting, there's no other business other than to announce the next meeting will be March 3rd, 7:30 here in the municipal building. They'll post it up on the board too. It usually gets posted.
Mr. Administrator.
Just got a couple quick things. Our town wanted to ask council's preliminary permission. They are considering, when they do Christmas in the village, after the sleigh rides, which is, I don't know, runs till about 6:30, they're looking at doing like a light parade, some antique tractors and cars, and they would be required to put Christmas lights on, and they wanna start up at the park, go up to Main Street, come across to Washington, back down to Plum, and then Plum back into the park. And wanted to know council's permission if that was something that they would, allow them to look into a little further.
No, you can't. Where you gonna detour your traffic if you close off?
They're wanting to include the traffic, work with traffic, stop at stoplights,
This wouldn't be any different than a pony wagon
No,
parade.
it's,
Except when you detour traffic down High Street.
It won't be that long.
No, they just, if they hit the stoplight, this is the way it was, explained to me. They hit the stoplight and it's red, the parade stops and gets separated, they get some cars in between there, and then once it turns green, they just keep going, they work with traffic and allow traffic to keep going.
I think it'd be
Is
good.
there any, did I explain that right?
Well, we were, I think, coming down, I didn't think it was gonna be High Street, I thought it was gonna be come down Jefferson, or,
So it'd be the opposite of what we do at the pony wagon parade.
yeah.
So Jefferson down, Main,
Main Street, and only one lane of Main Street, so traffic, working with the best way to do it, and then turning there at the mansion and just circling around, so we didn't want it to be as long as the pony wagon parade, and it's going the opposite direction, so it would be a different feel.
would it be feasible to close down like the park where where we park?
I don't
Park
know that.
cars? No, like we close down where people park on the side roads? And just drive it along there and still having,
I think so,
okay, instead of closing down the street.
yeah, we haven't worked out all the details, we're
Well,
just
they're
saying
just
it would
asking
be a
if we're-
short.
Yeah.
I mean, if council says, no, we don't want you to do it, then the idea is done. But if you say, yes, we can keep working on the idea, we'll come back with the final plan. But we're thinking of a shorter route, a light parade.
Do you have any idea, you may or may not, how many tractors you're talking about?
I have no idea.
Okay, because 15 would be a lot different than 55 or 60.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I mean,
Well, I think
I'm
that's
all-
kinda why it was brought
as
up
many as
now.
you can get. I'll say this, this is my own personal opinion, council can take this as such. I'm all for it. I don't have a single problem with it. This is my own personal opinion. Council can make their decision, but, if we wanna have a light parade and that kind of stuff, let's do it.
I think it would be a very festive idea.
Good,
So,
truthfully.
that is my personal opinion.
I agree that it's a good idea, however, I don't think you ought to use High Street. If you use Jefferson, that's better than using High. Because if you're gonna have antique tractors, you're gonna have to, trucks that's gonna not wanna wait.
Well,
So you-
and we just, it's
I
a
think-
Saturday evening, so there's not much truck traffic going through town on a Saturday evening at 6:30.
You can work the logistics with the police department.
We'll
Yeah.
work, and if you guys get approval tonight, work the logistics, come back with us. So,
I guess are you asking for a,
they wanna know if we are interested,
Yeah.
and then
We
they
have
will come back
council
with us for and our support, and then they'll come back to us with a final plan.
Okay.
So,
I will make a motion to put preliminary plans in to have a, light tractor show,
light parade,
parade, yes.
I'll second.
seconded by Mr., alright. The motion was made by Ms. Crawford, seconded by Mr. Miller. So, can we roll call?
Jester,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes,
Irvin,
Yes,
Atkins,
Yes.
Watkins,
Yeah.
Miller.
Alright. So, Ms. Cook, can you relay that information for us? Thank you.
The memorandum of understanding that was approved by council, they are meeting, I think, on the 17th. They kinda got, I think we shocked them, they decided to sign that.
Oh, for the
Yeah.
kitchen.
Okay.
And it occurred to someone that that organization is a viable organization, but there has to be someone who physically will own that equipment. And they're thinking that the food council probably is not that entity. So there's some discussion of whether it will go to the CEP, which is a community economic partnership, whether it would go to the chamber, or there's a possibility it could come back and be us. Because what they're kind of looking for, I think what it really boils down to is if they're looking for money, the OSU will help do grants, but when you get that money, or when the kitchen becomes viable, they need an avenue to run funds through, which the food council doesn't have that. So that's why it's either gonna have to go through a CEP, the CIC is part of the CEP, or maybe look at us to be the ownership with contracts in place that, you know, in the event that it decides to move, then we would relinquish that equipment all to them. But anyway, just, that's the only reason I wanted to bring that up, is they're looking into that. So when they come back to really start moving forward, we have things in order. Second thing I wanted to bring up is, I know everybody watches TV, and there has been a tremendous amount of coverage on lead in water. And I want to try to rest assured in St. Paris that both of those situations up there are a lot more complicated than what the news lets you know. And I've found a lot of this out through the EPA. Sebring, for instance, in Ohio, that has the lead issues. That has been a problem for quite some time, to find out that the operator has been falsifying records. Almost the same thing up in Flint, Michigan. If you have a lead problem, it doesn't crop up just like that. That comes over time. And so that just finally got to a point where they noticed it. As long as I've been in town, and I've dug up lines all over this town, I have never run into a lead line in St. Paris. You've plumbed everywhere. Have you ever seen a lead line? Our water is not, from a corrosive standpoint, to make our water aggressive, that what little lead there may be even in the system is not enough to bring it out. So we are, next week, just as a precautionary measure, gonna go to one more test. It's called a Langelier test. And it checks the corrosiveness of our water to say if there was lead in there, is there enough in there that would make an issue. We've done that test a long time ago, and we passed with flying colors. I just wanna pull it again to make everybody know that we don't have lead in our water. We're okay. We checked our lead last year, what's this year, 16, 13. We were all below detection limits except for one, but we satisfied the EPA because they go off the 90th percentile. We're by standard doing that again this year. We'll do it in the summer, but we're gonna pull those couple extra tests until then, just to make sure that we're okay. So I don't want bad words getting around to think that we got lead in our water. No, we don't. We test for that stuff. It's not there. So we are safe, and we are doing our testing the way it should be. Lead is not an issue in this town. Now, it'd be a good time if anybody had any quick questions about that. I'd be glad to try to answer, or we can move on to some other happy topic.
Is there any questions from anyone in the public? Are there any questions from anyone on council? Okay. Next topic.
Last thing, I was invited by the EPA, and it's called OTCO, the Operator Training Committee of Ohio, that does a lot of work with the EPA, to be a speaker at a 2-day seminar they have in March, and wanted to know council's permission if I would be allowed to go do that. I believe it's March 8th.
Sorry.
He's a speaker.
No,
He's a speaker.
I'm not a speaker. Whoever want to listen to me.
When was that?
It's March 8th.
It's one day.
Yeah,
Where is it at?
over Columbus. They have a 2-day event, operators from all over the, last time I went over and did that, I spoke once before, there was about 500 operators there. We talked about solar. This time it's gonna be a little more on solar and the energy that's transferred into power, kind of breaking that down, how it works for us, plus talk about smart cities.
Yeah, see if I
I'll make the motion. We need a motion for it?
Sure. That was Mr. Spencer and Ms. Crawford seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, please. Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. Then I will entertain a motion to approve committee reports.
So moved.
Mr. Watkins makes that motion, seconded by Ms. Crawford. All those in favor of approving committee reports, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, please. All right, next we're gonna move on to old business. Opening bids for the sale of 9746 West State Route, US 36.
No bids.
No bids at this time.
Okay.
Bid $1.
At what point do
Cash or
we,
check.
at what point do we move away from the bids and move on to
We,
a real?
I texted our attorney today to find that out. I was told twice that you need to go up to bid and then you could go to a realtor, but I want that in writing from an attorney before we make that move. So at this time, I don't honestly know the answer to that.
any questions?
So we're not gonna move forward with the second bid until we find out, correct?
Yeah, I wouldn't, I don't
Okay.
know,
I
because
just
we
wanna
might
be
find
clear
out
on
that we could go directly to a realtor and save, it's pretty expensive to advertise that.
Mhm.
So, before we go to that extent, I'd rather look into, see whether we can go to a realtor. So I will find that out.
We'll have an answer hopefully next week. All right, next,
Hold on. I have another one in old business.
I do too.
Okay, go ahead.
What?
Can I have one?
Oh, maybe mine's the same as yours.
Okay, go on.
Last meeting, we tabled the Safeway to Schools. About possibly sending Joe. We spoke with Ms. Cook afterwards, and asked her, you know, if she would be willing, because she's been doing a lot of footwork, a lot of the legwork, and she has a lot of the knowledge from this as far as talking with the school, what it would take, and all of that. We spoke with her and asked her if she would be interested in being possibly council's liaison for the Safeway to Schools convention. And she had said she would. Then you had done some talking, I do believe, with the school.
Yes, I met with the school last week, and they're working on their travel plan for ODOT, which requires all the paperwork that we've done in the past be refiled, and so they're working on it and crunching numbers, and so they're working. But, and I also asked them if they would help pay expenses. I'm willing to do this, but I really am not a bottomless pit of money, would like some help on the expenses. So there's the registration fee and the hotel fee, and so the school would be willing to help with some of that also. Or they're looking into it. I mean, I don't have any hard numbers from anybody, so
Numbers.
that's kind of my,
Well, yeah, we brought that up last meeting.
But what they would put in and versus
Right.
us.
And hopefully the school will chip in, but
Right.
I would like to, let's see.
I did a little bit of research on this, and I'll just, while people are looking through, I got a packet for you guys to look at. What I gave you is a background on the conference history and what they're trying to do and the events that they have. The one thing that they have 3 days of breakout sessions, but they haven't populated or listed what's included in each of the breakout sessions over the 3 days. And so it's difficult to tell. They've got like a policy track, a health track, sustainability, partnership. They've got a whole list of tracks that they go down. And I don't know if it is the same track over 3 days, so you can go to it once, or if there's 3 different policy tracks. And they haven't, so I couldn't follow through on those. That would be really important, I think. The early bird, the $400 early bird is passed. That's on the back side, the last page there, and that was, I forget, I don't know what the date was.
17th.
17th of
okay.
January.
So we'd be saving $50 by.
No, we're too
We would have, it's too
Oh.
late. And I looked, and there's nowhere that I could find anywhere on there where if you could just if you attend one day, you attend 3 days, you pay the same,
So you're saying that
the same rate. There's
one day
no,
it might be one track, the other day it might be another track, we don't have to do it all 3 days.
According to the session, all 3 days is the same thing.
Yeah.
I think all the
If it-
sessions are different.
I mean, they might be, they might not be, but we don't know.
Well, I
yet.
was talking to ODOT.
Okay.
And she seemed to think that they're different.
They're
Okay.
talking about the
From
same thing, but different topics of that
Following
thing.
up continually.
Okay.
So it's $450 plus mileage and or hotel. And I guess I would rather be in the hotel than doing the driving every day by myself. So if, you know, you and the school could work something, you know, if you'd be willing to.
Who at the school do we need to talk to?
Pardon?
Who at the school do we need to speak with?
I'm currently talking with the superintendent and Don Broom, business manager. And they're crunching numbers and kind of saying, okay, school board, what are you willing to do here? So, you know, they can't just say, oh yeah, Brenda, we'll pay your fees. They've got to get it approved too, because they get audited too. I know you can't just, I may wind up being a volunteer, an unpaid volunteer for the school liaison. I may get some kind of a title from the school so that they can fund me. And if you need to do that to pay my, you know, you can give me some kind of volunteer title that allows the hotel to be paid or the registration to be paid.
Just crunching quick numbers, I'm looking that it would be roughly $700. With the 450 and the 2 nights at, I'm saying $125 a hotel room. I mean, it could be less, but that's just what I was figuring.
So what line item is it coming out?
We have to look into that one.
And
Dave, I would like to reach out, I asked Joe if he would reach out to the school.
But we're still gonna have to find out where the money's coming from. We have to create a position for,
Would we?
No.
Or
What?
would we have to create a position for her as a volunteer?
No.
Okay, that would be more school stuff.
I
mean-
assistant liaison for the council.
Right.
As long as it's approved through the management fund.
for the people out here, what we're talking about is the safe routes to schools. And it was talked about last week, and what it is, it's about mainly building a sidewalk from town out to the, correct me if I'm wrong, the elementary school and the junior high area. Middle school, excuse me, yeah, middle school. And the goal is to get funds for that, to do that. And, yeah, from the state. And part of the objective going to this is, Brenda had talked about that we had applied before and we were not successful. And by attending this conference, hopefully that will give us inroads and help us to have a better chance of getting those funds available so that the sidewalk can be built. In any case, I don't think if we go where what I look at this as seeing is if we send somebody, it's an investment, but it's not a guarantee that we would get the grant money. And I don't even know how much the grant money would be, but, you know, I have no idea how much it would cost to build a sidewalk out that far, but I'm sure it's pretty hefty. So, you know, we as a council and the mayor would have to decide if it's worth the investment to possibly improve our chances, if we believe the conference would improve our chances. That's how I see it. Am I misspeaking?
No.
Okay.
You're pretty accurate.
So, yes, Mr. Wheeler.
I looked into this a little bit, Brenda knows about it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because there is no guarantee on how much you would necessarily get, but it's considered an engineering project, and the engineering project can go up to $400,000. So, and I believe that that's the cap. So it's really pretty significant, and just to throw my 2 cents worth in there. Any project like this is gonna be for the children, and talking to some other people. If the pathway can get there, it opens up the schools to become additional parks, recreation. It really lends itself well to the village. And on top of that, it creates a networking system for Brenda and for the school. And that's what I believe, more than anything else that you would get out of this, is the ability to put a face with a face. And if you've ever done any kind of networking or dealing with people in larger organizations, when you're talking to them on the phone, you can say, oh, this is Brenda Cook from St. Paris. And wow, I talked to her at that conference, and by golly, they've done this twice before and not gotten anything, but we didn't really know who they were. And this sounds good. So I'm a big proponent for this, and I back Brenda and the school and whatever council decides 100%. The only thing I think that you might want to ask for, which ought to be real easy to get, is an itinerary. That's simple. They have to put one together at some point in time.
Yeah, it's on.
Well, it's on here. It's
Well, I
on
mean,
here, but
it
it's
needs
not
to be
spelled out.
It's not
No.
a detail.
Which is what I'm saying, an itinerary is not what you have.
Right.
An itinerary is an itinerary.
I mean, right now, that, with the
I understand.
hotel and travel expenses and that, you're looking over $650, $700.
For an opportunity, well, let me, I'll make it real, throw it out like this. To spend $650 or $700 with a possibility, not a promise, but just a possibility, of getting enough money to build a sidewalk all the way out there that could cost $400,000 in engineering expenses, I think is a pretty good investment. Because it's investing in the future of our children, not you or me.
I agree with you, but say it's $400,000 just for engineering, that's not even construction there. And then we gotta have matching dollars and
There's no matching dollars.
We do not have
There's
matching
matching
dollars.
There's no matching dollars with this.
The village has no financial,
No,
Part of that is all.
it's the school
Minus sending
sending the person.
right.
it's actually not even the school.
Well, they have to give the numbers.
The only time there would be any out-of-pocket expense on the village side or the school side is the engineers will come out and they'll look at the plan to take our sidewalk from point A to point B. If we look at that plan and say, that's nice the way you like to cross the railroad tracks, but we would like to see you bypass this and go way around back, that becomes an expense of the village because we're changing what their organization wanted to do. And we have that right to do that and can become part of that project, but it's out of our pocket. As the same as the school, they'll say, we're gonna run that to here. If you'd like to run it another 50, 60, 75 yards, that's up to the school expense. But there is no money out of our pocket,
Correct.
except for if we would go to this conference.
What is council's word?
I would, in my opinion, I would think that we need to table it to see what their matching funds would be. And then that,
What the schools are contributing.
yes, sir.
that, and we also need to find out if all three of these days consist of the same topics, or whether or not they're different subjects.
Well, it would be $450.
I think it's the
for
cost.
whether you
is
attend one day
3
or
days
all
period,
three.
Regardless. I don't think you could cut.
Well, the thing is, even if it is the same topic, you can see there's a slew of different panels and topics and groups. I don't know if all of them would be appropriate because we're rural, and so that only a section of those would be appropriate to us, as I looked at it.
So I think I would like to table it to get more information on cost and,
Until the 15th.
is that too late? I mean,
I don't know, the hotel fills up,
right. I mean, but we don't have any information as our only,
Well, I'm not sending anything in until everybody's in agreement, so.
right.
When's the next school board meeting?
I don't know that on the top of my head.
Would it
I
be,
think it's the second Monday, but I'm not positive. Second or third Monday of the month,
Do they meet just once a month?
yes.
so it would be today or tomorrow?
No,
Was it today?
no, it would be the 8th or the 15th.
Oh, week, I'm sorry, I thought she said day. Okay.
I
Okay,
think after the early bird.
so if it is the second Monday,
If I
then
register later.
we would get it in the next meeting, get your information from them.
Oh, so
So-
they would know by then, yes.
So I'd like to table it until the next meeting.
Okay.
No?
Oh,
Uh,
To get more information.
so,
On
Ms.
both
Crawford
those
made a
things.
motion to table this until the 15th of February,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Atkins. All those in favor of tabling this until the next meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, please. All right, Ms. Crawford, did you have something you wanted in old business?
Just that I have not talked to, Calico yet. We're playing phone tag and email tag. So I just wanted to tell you that I'm still looking and stuff, so. We're just playing tag right now.
Okay. All right, next we'll move on to new business. Next, in new business, we have resolution 1229, which is the OCJS grant to raise revenue and amend appropriation. We didn't have these numbers fully when appropriations were made. So be it resolved by the council of the village of St. Paris that there is a need to make the following supplemental budget and appropriations changes due to approval of the OCJS grant for the police department. Section 1, increase revenue budget for 1,422-40 from $0 to $17,382.63. Section 2, increase appropriations for 1,110,329 police other communications from $5,000 to $17,260. Section 3, increase appropriations for 1,110,440 police small tools and equipment from $1,000 to $11,916.85. This resolution shall take effect and be enforced in the earliest period allowed by law.
Was this sent to the county auditor to have the funds increased?
It went today.
Real briefly, Officer Patrick, this was to upgrade, what was it?
This is these grant funds are gonna provide a base station in the office for the Marks radio system,
Okay.
2 more portables that the village would own, and then a new server for the office. There's 2 separate grants, one's a continuation grant and the other one's a new grant that I did.
Okay.
So that's the equipment that's gonna be provided.
Any questions about resolution 1229?
Just to reiterate his question, that went to the budget commission today, and if they would not have been in favor of this, they would have notified the village to stop the resolution, but they didn't get back to us, so I'm honestly sure that they have passed that through the budget commission. They met today.
Mr. Jester makes a motion to approve resolution 1229,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Watkins. Roll call, please.
Atkins,
Yeah.
Watkins,
Yeah.
Miller,
Yes.
Irvin.
Yep.
All right. Oh, this is the sign in.
There's nothing on there.
Nothing. Okay. All right, no one signed in for any public comments. So briefly, is there any public comments on the floor? All right.
You had a question?
About up to Springfield Street.
No. About where the job opening was gonna be?
Oh, I did, you're right. Yeah, where the job openings are gonna be posted. Yeah.
Probably won't be this week, but most likely next week. There'll be about 4 places. It'll be in the Urbana News, it'll be in the Booster, it'll be on Ohio Rural Water's website, along with the Operator Training Committee of Ohio called OTCO's website. And we most likely will take those applications until, I'm gonna say probably till about the end of February.
Interested, are you?
No, Dan Weiner was.
And those positions are street and, well, we discussed this earlier.
Yes.
Street and water.
One is
Water,
water.
the street department running the water sewer department.
Right. Like what capacity the street, I'm not sure.
Yes. And so we're gonna keep Jim around until we get to that point. So,
Alright. Any other public comments? If there are no other public comments, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:21 PM. Mr. Miller makes a motion. Second by Mr. Jester.